Welcome back, everybody. John Aravosis here. Hello, all on YouTube. As always, let me get TikTok rolling, and then we shall roll. Let me see. It doesn't show both of those, does it? Being a little difficult here. Oh, that works. That works. All right, go live. All right. 1 second. There we go. All right, TikTok is live. Welcome, everybody. How are we all doing today? It is not a very newsy news day, I will say, on either front, but that's fine. We got news. There's news. There's news to talk about. Anyway, welcome all. Introduce yourselves if you would. TikTok. There we go. TikTok's rolling. Hey, Alisoni. Alisoni or Allison, whichever. I couldn't tell. I think it said Alisoni. Thank you, Steven, Linka for showing up. Steve, V, lots of folks. Jorge with the first gift. Thank you, Jorge. No sound, being evil. Well, let's try it again. All right, plugging the sound in again. All right, how's the sound now on TikTok? I know. Is the sound back on TikTok now? TikTok, is it back? Good now? All right. Yeah, that connection drives me a little crazy on TikTok. Anyway, my microphone connection gets weird sometimes. Anyway, welcome, folks. So, yes, Saturday I am flying to Chicago, so no show Saturday morning. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to yawn at you again. I even had a little iced tea before the show, hoping it would perk me up a little. Oh, man. Massive wombats. Scary. Thank you, Succeed. Linka for the various gifts. Aim. Elizabeth. Running. Anyway, hey, guys. So, yeah. Busy day. Thank you, Alan. Just getting ready for my trip. So I'm kind of like, I hate that. I just started packing. I hate packing for trips, even though it doesn't really matter. I always forget something important, Thank you, Ava. Thank you, adventurers. Thank you, Ellen. Derek for the various gifts. Lots of little dinos coming in too there from Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. And Sandria. And Stephen and Bjorn and Buddy. Lots of gifts today. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. It's warm and smoky in Calgary. Are you guys sending fires to us again? Fire smoke. Thanks, Elizabeth, for the meerkat. Thank you, Bjorn. Yeah, last summer we had, I don't think it's, we may have a little haze, to be honest. We may have a little haze. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, saying it's, although, that would explain a lot because I've been noticing, again, my allergies bothering me more in the last couple of weeks. And I wasn't thinking it was you Canadians again. Even as I'm saying this to you, I can feel I'm a little bit like, wasn't even thinking maybe that is what's going on. Air quality. I don't know if it's hit the East Coast yet. The sky's a little gray. It's not terrible, but it's a little gray. Thank you, Ellie, for the gift there. All right, Elizabeth. Anyway, so welcome, guys. I'm going to yawn at you again because, I did have a nap today, so I should be in better stead. Anyway, welcome, guys. So I am John Aravosis. Welcome all. This is my nightly show. I do 6 o'clock Eastern time, U.S. We talk about the latest news from Ukraine, the latest American election news. Oh, is Dutch Cossack with us tonight? Is Klaas with us? Did you get back to Klaas? Just finished a trip to Ukraine. He's the guy who heard the F-16 fighter jets overhead when he was in Ukraine. We posted that audio. Thank you, Martin. And he's actually very generously bringing back some supplies for Vlad to, I already have an air filter. He is bringing back supplies for us for our auctions, which is very nice of him. Might not hurt to wait a week or two, Klaas, since I'm out of the country, but I'm in Chicago for a couple of weeks. So, maybe wait 2 weeks. It'll take 2 weeks to get here anyway, but usually 2 weeks. I'd say wait a good 2 weeks, maybe 2.5. Maybe 2.5 before sending it, if you would. Anyway, thank you for the meerkats there. Thank you, Tom, Skywalker. Callum's here today. Excellent. Thank you, Francis. Anyway, guys, so thank you, Lives. Thank you. So send me pictures? Okay, no problem. No problem. I did ask Vlad about some of it. Pretty wild stuff, but we're not telling people right now till I get it. Anyway, guys, welcome. Let's start with the American election news. Then we'll move over to Ukraine. There's news. There's not a ton of news, but there's news. Trump did a press conference today. It was a little crazy. Okay, he didn't do a press conference. Trump tricked the media again, like he always does, and they fell for it. Thank you, Brigitte. Trump said he was doing a press conference. He didn't. He got up and read a speech. And then he called on Trump called on reporters. One of them was, the first one said something like, "Why did God save you?" The second one, it was like, I forget the second one. It was basically like the Simpsons episode when Mr. Burns is running for office and they make Lisa ask the question, "Mr. Burns, your campaign has the momentum of a runaway train. What makes you so special?" It was basically that. Trump called on all the fake reporters. "Thank you, running. Thank you, Chazak." And the media covered it because they're idiots. And they've done this so many times before. Trump basically calls fake press conferences and just goes off on anything, and they gets free coverage because that's what Trump does. Anyway, all right. So national polling average. The New York Times national polling average shows Kamala Harris beating Trump by 2 points. Whether that is in a two-way race or a three-way race with RFK Jr. included, either way, Kamala Harris beats Trump by 2 points. The only thing you've got to remember, I can tell you Canadians, I can tell you've ruined my air because as I'm talking too, I'm getting out of breath. The only thing you got to remember is U.S. elections are not decided by national polls. U.S. elections are decided by state polls, by state races. And again, I'm going to get blue in the face telling you this, but I think it's worth it because it's something important to know. In order to win the American presidency, you've got to win a certain number of states. Each state has a certain point value attached to it. Big states are worth more points. Small states are worth fewer points. It's just like playing the game of Risk and how many cards you get based on the country. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Martin. You've got to win enough states to reach 270 points to become president, right? Some little states have only 3 points. Some bigger states, I think Pennsylvania, we said, has 19 points. California, every time I ask you guys this and we forget, how many does California have? Was it 39? Alexa, how many electoral votes does California have in 2024? 54. Is it that many? Is it 54? California has 54. Oh, good. Oh, Californians know. Yep. Alexa agrees with you. 54. So you get the difference, right? Like Alaska may have 3 votes, 3 electoral votes, 3 points, let's call it. Pennsylvania has 19. California has 54. So you've got to tally up enough of these states that you win that you get 270 electoral votes, 270 points. So when you look at the national U.S. polls, they give you a sense of how you're doing, but they really don't tell you because you can win the national vote and still lose the election. That's what happened to Hillary Clinton. That's what happened to Al Gore, both Democrats losing to Republicans. Donald Trump won the election in 2016 by losing the national vote by 3 million votes or 2 percentage points, but he still won. So my point here is always be a little cautious when you're looking at national polls since we don't elect a president by the national vote. Having said that, still gives you a sense of how things are going. Thank you, Lamb Chop, right? If Biden, for example, was consistently losing in the national polls to Trump, Harris now is consistently ahead. That at least shows that she's doing better than Biden. That's positive, obviously. All right, a little bit more here. Waltz and Vance. So J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's vice presidential nominee, and Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's, have agreed to one debate on October 1st, possibly more. We'll see, but on October 1st. Republican pollster Frank Luntz made an interesting observation today. Thank you, James, by the way. Appreciate the gift. Sorry, I did see that. Didn't want to forget to ask you. How many electors are there in total? Electoral votes? I should know this. 538, I think, right? Not 539, 538. Help me out. It's 538, right? Because 538.com, right? 538, there you go. Nah, not 535, it's 538, Gunther. 99.9% sure. That's why 538.com was named 538.com. So a little bit more here. GOP pollster Frank Luntz, very interesting. He is a Republican pollster, obviously leans Republican, but had an interesting observation today about Kamala Harris. He said she's bringing out people who are not interested in voting for either Trump or Biden. So the entire electoral pool has changed. And if it continues in this direction, you'll have to start to consider Democrats winning the Senate and Democrats winning the House of Representatives. I haven't seen anything like this happen in 30-day period in my lifetime. What he's saying is in the last 3 weeks or so, Kamala Harris has so energized people that she's even energizing people who were considering not voting at all. They didn't like Trump. They didn't like Biden. What were they calling them? The double negatives or double nevers or something. I forget what they were calling them, but basically meaning they just weren't going to vote at all. She's energizing a lot of those people. And she's so energizing people that this could help Democrats win the House and the Senate races as well, which would be huge. It's a little early. You don't want to get in an American well, even for a European election, this would be very early, 3 months. In an American election, this is late in the election. Our elections go about 2 years for president, right? DC is why. That's why I was wondering about the 3 points. That's very funny, Dave, because I knew we had 435 House members, 100 senators, which gets you to 535. But I was wondering where the 3 points came from. It's because DC, where I live, isn't a state. There we go. So yes. So what's interesting is we're late in the election for an American election. 3 months to go is very late. For Europe, this is like no time at all, right? But for America, our presidential elections go for 2 years. Having said that, you don't want to peak too early. You want the momentum going crazy that last month of the election. So there's some concern that Kamala Harris is peaking too early. Having said that, if she can keep peaking, if she can keep the momentum growing and growing and growing like it has been for the last month, she could do very well. Democrats could do very well in the House and Senate. But, you gotta, as they say, you've got to win it by a large enough margin so Trump can't steal it, right? So that even sicking a violent mob on the U.S. Congress won't be enough for him to win the election because Harris has won by so much. So it's still very important. RFK Jr. So this was rather funny. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he of eating dogs and small baby bears, reportedly approached the Harris and Trump campaign looking for a job. He told them that he would endorse them if they agreed to give him a job in the administration. The Harris people basically said, go fly a kite. He's crazy. The man's insane. The Harris people would never put him in their administration. The Biden people might, the Trump people might, because they're a little wacko. But Harris, there's zero chance in hell that RFK Jr. is nuts. There's no chance in hell that they're going to put him in the administration. I mean, I was going to say dog catcher. They wouldn't dare put dog catcher because he reportedly ate a dog. Favorability ratings. This was interesting. So Walz versus Vance. So Kamala Harris's vice president pick versus Donald Trump's. Thank you, LR. Thank you, Courtney, for the gifts. Please do keep the gifts coming, guys. Richard as well. You know how this goes. Sorry, Francis, Ernie. Thank you, guys. Pedro. Marie, I missed several of you. I'm sorry. Lamb Chop, Josh, Martin. Okay, hopefully I'm getting back to where I'd thank you guys. As you guys know, I do this for a living. Thank you, Crazy Grandma. I do this for a living, and I've been doing it for 2.5 years now, full time, really. Doing this show. Thank you, Tarad, for the Meerkat. Doing and thank you, Joe, for subscribing. But in any case, I do this full time. Your guy, I do love that little dancing flower thing. I do it full time, and your guys' gifts basically help me pay the bills. So please do keep it coming. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tarad again. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you, Crazy Grandma. I appreciate you appreciating me. That's sweet of you. Thank you. All right, a little bit more here. So Walz and Vance favorability ratings. Currently, the average favorability for Tim Walz, Kamala Harris as vice president, 37% favorable, 42% unfavorable. Again, you don't want to be less favorable than unfavorable. Let me rephrase this. You don't want your favorability lower than your unfavorability. You want it the other way, right? So he's 37% favorable, 42 unfavorable. So 5 points under. JD Vance is 33% favorable, 42 unfavorable. So he's actually 9 points under versus 5 points under for Walz. So both of them have work to do. Vance is less popular. JD Vance. So some recent comments from JD Vance were found. He seems to have said a lot of stupid things 2 years ago, not in his younger years, 2 years ago. Thank you, Running. Thank you, Aaron. Vance gave a talk about his Indian mother-in-law and how when they had children, the Indian mother-in-law quit or went on sabbatical. She was at a university, went on sabbatical from her job as a professor of biology or something like that. Thank you, real life. And came to their house to take care of their newborn children. Vance explained that raising grandchildren is the whole purpose of the post-menopausal female. Thank you, real life. Thank you, Lord Flash. I'm going to read this again. JD Vance said in the interview 2 years ago, raising grandchildren is the whole purpose of the post-menopausal female. Couple things here. I don't want to hear JD Vance talk about menopause ever. Sure. I mean, I just like gross to suggest that the whole purpose of a woman post-menopause is raising grandchildren is sick. It's sexist. It's just, I mean, and especially, by the way, especially his mother, and he gives his mother-in-law as the example. And he says but mind you, his mother-in-law, who is like a microbiologist or something, she's like this brilliant, accomplished scientist. Thank you, Hedge, for the gift at some university in California or something. And she puts her professor of microbiology or whatever it is job on hold to take care of their children for a year. So clearly, her only purpose isn't raising grandchildren. She's actually an accomplished like professor of biology. She's like this brilliant scientist, right? Do you know what I mean? Like this is what kind of boggles my mind. He's not, I don't know if he's not very bright or, I mean, he's weird, obviously. Thank you, Tom. But like you're describing a woman. I'm going to pull this up. Alexa, tell me about JD Vance's mother-in-law. Right. Alexa, raise the volume. Alexa, tell me about JD Vance's mother-in-law.
From Eagle.com. Republican VP nominee JD Vance seemingly endorsed the idea that postmenopausal females exist to help parents raise children, expressing his gratitude to his mother-in-law for the unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman in an unearthed podcast clip.
Okay. I mean, she just confirmed what I said, but that didn't really answer the question. All right. JD Vance, mother-in-law. I just want to see what her actually Alexa got close, but I want to see what the mother-in-law's actual teaching biology in California, but they're not giving the details. I mean, I don't think she's just like no offense to high school teachers. I don't think she's just a high school teacher here. I think she's a scientist. Just to add to the whole, she's a biology professor. So, all right. So she is a professor. Yeah. I don't know that we're going to get more on this because they keep saying biology professor, but I mean, she's like a really accomplished woman. Hold on. I'm going to look one more time here. She's a biology professor at the University of California, San Diego. So, okay. Bottom line is, guys, JD Vance's mother-in-law is a biology professor at the University of California. She ain't some high school science teacher. Again, we love high school science teachers, but I mean, this woman is super accomplished that she's a college professor in biology. And he says that women's only purpose when they're post-menopause is to take care of grandchildren. I mean, could you imagine if this guy was your son-in-law? First of all, imagine grandma's going, excuse me? He's unbelievable. So another comment he made, again, 2021. JD Vance is only like 39 years old. Maybe he just turned 40, I think. He's a little young for the presidency. But he made these comments 2 years ago. So they're recent comments. Other comment he made. He said that a number of American companies have come out in opposition to abortion bans. Basically, I mean, because of their workforce, actually, because if states ban abortion, which is now happening under Republican rule, because Donald Trump basically got the right to an abortion taken away in America under the Supreme Court. He appointed the new Supreme Court justices, promised they would take away a woman's right to an abortion, and they did. And now Republican states are getting rid of the right to an abortion. 20 Republican states have almost completely banned it. And what a number of businesses have come out in opposition to banning abortion because they said, how do we get women to work for us, right? If you're a woman working for IBM, Microsoft, I pick any big company, right? Do you want to get sent to a state that bans abortion, contraception, in vitro fertilization, like all sorts of women's healthcare stuff? You may be like, I don't want to go live in that state. That's too creepy, right? So a lot of businesses have taken positions saying they oppose these bans. JD Vance said in 2021, thank you, Sonny, for the gift, by the way, for the dino. JD Vance said in 2021 that corporations that criticize abortion bans, here's why they criticize it, he said. He said, this is why companies come out and criticize Republican efforts to ban abortion in states or nationwide, because the companies are seeking cheap labor and they don't want people to parent children. So he's saying that these companies got together and they decided, we need cheap labor. We don't want people becoming moms and dads, because if they're moms and dads, then they won't be working. They'll be moms and we'll have to pay more to get employees. I mean, guys, yeah, he's weird. I know Democrats came up with the name. Actually, Tim Walz came up with the name Weirdo and Weird for JD Vance, but he really is weird. Like, I always knew he was a turncoat. I mean, he's the guy who completely changed his views. Basically, used to claim he was like a liberal Democrat, compared Donald Trump to Hitler, literally. And now is like, the biggest MAGA guy on the planet, literally 2 years later. I mean, come on, guys. In 2 years, he changed his views. But he's very strange. I mean, I just don't know. He's sort of evangelical Christian rabid, extreme, like religious right weird. You know what I mean? It's just very weird. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, my dog. A little bit more here. Oh, and finally, Trump hired Corey Lewandowski back. So Trump hired his old campaign manager who got fired in 2016. Corey Lewandowski got fired, among other reasons, because he was arrested by the police for allegedly assaulting a woman on the campaign. Or I believe it was a woman reporter. Actually, I believe that she said he assaulted her, and got arrested. And I think the case may have been dropped. I'm not sure. I'm never sure. But in any case, kind of a creepy guy. A little weird that Trump would hire him, but this is who Trump is. All right, let's do a little bit of Ukraine news, and then we'll hang out and talk. It is day 904 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation in Ukraine. This is the 10th day. I didn't know we were this many days into it. This is the 10th day of Ukraine occupying Russia, which is very interesting. The Ukrainians, as you guys know, invaded Russia along the Kursk region. We'll show you really quick. Kursk is up here. So it's a Russian state or region, basically up here. Most of the Russian occupation is pretty much happening along here. Most of the fighting is therefore happening along here. The Ukrainians thought it would be cute to invade Russia up here, and they did. And they've been very successful at it, which has been very funny. Thank you for the gift there, Carla. So the Ukrainians invade Russia about 10 days ago. They grab a bunch of land. They're still expanding. They're still sending more troops. They're still taking more land. Russians are not thrilled about this. Thank you, Cami, for the gifts there. Let me give you a little more of this. Ukrainian forces in Kursk have advanced 35 kilometers deep, which is about 25 miles, maybe 22 miles. Thank you, Pizdolis, and control 1,150 square kilometers of land. This is according to Ukraine's defense ministry. Kyiv's troops have captured the Russian town of Sudzha in the Kursk region. A rather important local town. Is about 5,000 people, but one of the important regional cities. So we were sort of waiting to see if Ukraine would be able to capture this, which is a big deal. Russia is finally building trenches in the region. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you, Tarad. Is finally building trenches in the region to stop the Ukrainian troops, and they appear to have now slowed the Ukrainian advance. According to Russian officials, nearly 200,000 Russian civilians have been forced to evacuate the border regions, which is pretty funny. 200,000 is a lot of people to evacuate. These people are not happy. I saw an interview today on Italian TV of basically interviewing some Russians in Kursk, the civilians. And it asked them, like, so what happened? Did the Russian troops, defend you or help you? And they said, no. The Russian troops came and said, just stay put, stay where you are. And they left and they abandoned us. Thank you, Danan. And the Ukrainians came, and now the Ukrainians are here. And they asked them, I said, well, how are the Ukrainians? Are the Ukrainians treating you well? And they said, yeah, they're very nice to us, which is just very interesting. So kind of funny. A Russian military blogger says that in the Kursk region, which the Ukrainians invaded, the Russians have lost 2,640 soldiers, 37 tanks, 32 armored personnel carriers, 23 infantry fighting vehicles, and 203 armored vehicles. Ukraine Special Forces in the last day captured 102 Russian and Chechen soldiers. That's just in one day, which is huge. Ukraine deployed British Challenger 2 tanks across the border inside Russia. This was kind of a big deal. It was not clear whether they made a huge difference. I was reading something a couple minutes ago before the show saying that, the British tanks may not have made a huge difference on the attack, but it was hugely symbolic that British tanks were used to invade Russia and now hold Russian territory on behalf of Ukraine. It's pretty big. The Brits are allowing it. The Brits have said that they don't want the Ukrainians to use long-range Storm Shadow cruise missiles on Russian territory, but otherwise they're fine with the Russians using their weapons. The Ukrainians using their weapons inside Russia. The Russians are not going to be happy about this. Thank you, Red. Pretty funny though. The Biden administration, speaking of weapons, thank you, Reb, for the gift. The Biden administration is I kind of hate stuff like this because it's very vague. I'm going to take this as a positive, though it's vague. From Politico, the Biden administration is open to sending long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine. The missiles they're looking at sending are the Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile. I believe I read they can go a couple hundred miles, maybe 300 kilometers. So similar to the French and German cruise missiles, although I think Callum told us that it can actually go farther. But if we send them, this would be a good thing. I'm assuming they're going to have the same restrictions of the other weapons. Biden's been very worried about using U.S. weapons in Russia, but still, it's good. It's good. I mean, Ukraine has been once again surprising us and doing better than expected, really. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the meerkat. A little more news here. Russia has also declared a federal emergency in Belgorod. Belgorod is the Russian region right next to Kursk. So basically, the Ukrainians invade Kursk, this region here, and they're only occupying a small part, but still, it's still embarrassing to the Russians. And Belgorod is the region next to it right here, and they've declared a state of emergency in this region too because the Ukrainians must be going in there. So very interesting. What else here? Oh, Nord Stream. So the Nord Stream investigation. This is actually kind of funny. So the latest news is this is according to the American press. I think this was in the Wall Street Journal. Remember the Russian pipeline to Germany that I think it's actually like Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, two pipelines, one from the 80s, one more recent, and each one has two pipelines. So it's four pipes. Someone blew up 3 of the 4 pipes. September of 2022. So maybe, what would that be? 6 months into the war, maybe. And it did not have an economic impact per se because the Russians had already stopped sending fuel. The Russians were already being jerks and try to cut off the Europeans, right? By threatening them with cutting off their energy, for helping Ukraine. So the Russians had already cut off the fuel. Someone blows up the pipelines. It now looks like it was the Ukrainians who did it, which personally I find pretty funny. The report in the Wall Street Journal today, among others, is that Zelensky had a plan to blow up the pipeline. The Dutch intelligence services found out, thank you, Steve, and alerted the Americans, and the Americans alerted the Germans that the Ukrainians were about to blow up their pipeline. And the Americans reached out to Zelensky and said, don't blow up the pipeline. Don't do it. Zelensky called it off. Zaluzhny, who was the top general at the time, remember the top general who ended up fighting with Zelensky, and Zelensky fired him and then sent him as the ambassador to Great Britain. Zaluzhny, thank you, Iggy, and thank you, Steve, for the gifts, went ahead and did it anyway. That's the story now. That Zelensky told him, don't do it. He went ahead and did it anyway, and they blew up the pipeline. So that's where things stand. I will give the Germans credit. They indicted and put out an arrest warrant for the guy they knew who did it because they had to. But at the same time, the German government came out and said, I forget the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of, look, this whole war started because of Russia's aggression against Ukraine, totally unfounded. So it was a really good comment, at least from the Germans going, yeah, we indicted the guy, but the Russians are to blame for this entire thing anyway, which I thought was pretty good. Thank you, Chrono. So that was pretty funny. Thank you, Jessica. Finally, a quick little update. Remember we talked about the Russian-American ballerina who was dumb enough to go to Russia last Christmas or so. And thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Iggy, for gifts there. And the Russians grabbed her, right? Because she's American, Russian, dual national. And the Russians grabbed her and charged her with treason because she donated $51.80 to a Ukrainian charity to help them out. Well, they charged her with treason. They refused to include her in the prisoner exchange they just had and just sentenced her to 12 years in prison for treason. This is what the Russians do. They didn't want to release everybody. Thank you, Citric, for the gift. Give me the vote. There's a voting gift. That's kind of cool. They did not want to release her because they want more hostages. They want to keep doing this. They're going to keep making us release spies. They're going to keep kidnapping Americans over and over and over again. That is it for the news for today. I don't have any new auction items up. Let me see. I'm going to have to decide if I'm bringing them to Chicago, because I'm going to Chicago on Saturday for 3 weeks. Boy, I am telling you, I think the Germans have messed with our air quality. Alexa, what is the air quality like in Washington, D.C.? Oh, Alexa. Alexa, what is the air quality like in Washington, D.C.?
According to airnow.gov, the air quality in Washington, D.C. is moderate, with an air quality index of 61. If you're unusually sensitive to air quality, you might want to reduce.
Okay. All right, Alexa, stop. Yeah, because I can tell even doing the show with you guys, I'm kind of like, I can tell like I'm having like, I've got my allergy, my inhaler if I need to, but it's definitely, I wonder about the air quality here coming from the Germans messed with the air quality. I don't think it's the Germans. I think it might be the Canadians, however. Your Alexa replied. Thank you, Linda. You have an SNN next to your name, I Am Earth's Moon, probably because somebody gave you a gift membership as a subscriber for a month. So that makes, unless you did it yourself, but you'd know if it was you. But either you became a paid monthly subscriber, but you would know if you did that, or somebody bought one as a gift and you got it. So there you go. So you got a gift subscription, which means you can join our special shows. I didn't do one today. I've been kind of busy getting ready for my trip. I know. I will that's cute, Courtney. Courtney goes, take your inhaler because you're hilarious when you're hyper. I'm thinking she's saying take your inhaler. I have an asthma inhaler. Take your inhaler because you should take care of your health. Oh, no. Take your inhaler because it's really funny when you're hyper. My inhaler puts me although I should take it, frankly, puts me into like hyperland a little bit. Thank you, Chuck, for subscribing. I will actually do a little sip of this. Did I say Germans? Oh, well. Oops. Is my inhaler dead? Oh, that's not very good. Looking a little dead. Oh, it is a little dead. Well, we're not using this inhaler already. I think. I can't even. Yeah, this guy's getting thrown out. All right. That inhaler is getting thrown out. Good to know. All right. There we go. And I'm throwing this inhaler out so I don't get confused later. 1 second. All right. There we go. All right. I actually don't need the inhaler very often. DC does have electoral votes, 3, I believe, which is kind of ironic. I am not coming from the Democratic convention. I've been to many conventions. I find them a little boring, to be honest. There we go. Yes, I have been to, I do have a HEPA air filter. I have a very good one, actually. I may put it on a little stronger. Actually, I may vacuum it again just to be safe. I've been to Democratic conventions before. They're kind of boring because they're so big. I mean, it's fun to go, but they're so big you don't really get to see anything. So I'm not really thrilled about going, to be honest. It's just kind of, you're walking around all day really exhausted. I got to go because I ran one of the big U.S. political blogs. Thank you, Dark Phoenix. Always generous of you. And Annette for the vote gift as well. And Annette for the rose as well. But yes, I ran one of the big American political blogs. So I was basically invited by the Democratic Party. And what was nice is CNN, some of the different news services host like a cafe kind of thing where you can hang out. And I would always get invited to CNN's cafe, which was really nice because you kind of get to hang out with all the reporters and everybody. And it was just a nice free food and drinks, although I'm not much of a drinker, but free food and drink like all day and night. So basically you get all the food you want. I mean, specific food, but it's great because you're literally eating for for 4 days for free, which was very nice. So, anyway, yes, I think Yusko was asking if anybody could possibly give a gift membership for a month. I'll just throw it out there. I forget the name. I've got a very good HEPA filter, actually. I've got kind of two, but there's a really good one's a Hunter, which is an old one, but I just replaced the filter, so it's good. And the other one is a really nice $500 machine I've got, which I may need to buy a new filter soon. It's finally getting to the point where, after 5 years or so, they need to be replaced. Anyway, what else we got, guys? Yeah, so this is the part we hang out and talk, guys. So how much does your inhaler cost in the US? I don't remember anymore. I don't know. What else, guys? What else is going on? What's going on? Exactly. Like Swisher's asking, what's going on? Oh, I will say at least the inhaler woke me up. I've been tired all day. So hair gel. I make my own hair gel, believe it or not, Scott. I sort of gave up on buying hair gel because I've got allergies and stuff. So I finally started making my own hair gel from mineral oil and beeswax because the hair gel I liked was wax and oil. And I Googled it and they said most of the hair gel is beeswax and mineral oil. And so I just make it without perfume, without any scent. And it worked. And I make like a little more, a little less wax. And I'm able to get softer. It's kind of funny, but yeah. So I just, I make my own hair gel because I got tired of buying things that had smells in them because I couldn't use it. I don't use the spacer with the inhaler now. I don't use the inhaler very much though. Lately, it's been bothering me a little bit, but yeah, scented stuff drives me crazy just because like scented products, even when I'm in an Uber, like today that happened, my God, my Uber going there had those stupid perfumes hanging from the window, going my allergist from the rear view mirror and coming back, it reeked of cigarette smoke. And I couldn't, unless the person before me was a smoker, but like, I was like, oh my God, anyway. But I always hate that because then you come out and your shirt literally smells like my shirt literally smells like the stupid perfume Christmas tree bullshit that the guy had hanging from the rearview mirror. I mean, it's amazing how bad those scents are. Literally, my shirt still smells like it. It's not so bad that I'm wearing it, but usually it's so bad I'm kind of like, ugh. I don't want more Singular. No, I rarely use inhalers. I'm off my asthma drugs entirely, Massimo. I use an inhaler once every few months normally. Only the last couple days it's been bothering me a little bit. Not sure what the plan is, Stitch, while I'm in Chicago. I'm visiting Mom, so I'll be there for 3 weeks. Don't know beyond that. But I mean, my plan is just to keep working. You will know because you will see me doing my show in front of slats, the wall slats on the sliding door from the 1970s or 1960s, probably, since we bought the house in the early 70s. My dog comes with me. So, anyway, the wood's cute. I mean, it's like I said, it's 1960s Chicago. I like it. I grew up with it, but it is kind of funny because it's like these wood slats and wood paneling, and it's very. The room was an addition, and we just kind of left it the way it was. I don't know. Ukraine's cutting the oil in the Kursk pumping station. I don't know. Damien is coming to house sit and take care of my plants because he's very nice. So yes, Damien will be here. He's very good at taking care of my plants, my plant collection. So does a good job. Oh, hey, Mel. So that'll be nice. And I've got my tomatoes that are finally giving fruit. So Damien will get some free tomatoes. Sasha flies with me. Checking her would be bad, but I have to pay like $125 each way. Alexa, lower the temperature 1 degree.
The AC is set to
There we go.
76.
Good. But yeah, Sasha flies with me, thank God. So, what else, guys? What else? Yeah, the tomatoes took until now. Like the little cherry tomatoes started a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I'm going to keep, cherry tomatoes. We'll see. Sasha's 10 pounds. I use a Nest thermostat. I've got, one of the older ones, 3rd generation. They've got a new one out, which we'll see whether or not. No, she does not ask for water on the plane. Fortunately, it's only about an hour and a half plane ride, hour 20 minutes, so it's not too bad. In my apartment, 1 degree makes all the difference. Unfortunately, my apartment is literally hot, cold. 1 degree is hot, the other degree is cold. It drives me insane. But what do? You know? Thank you, Randy. Maybe when this air conditioner dies, it's a relatively new one. I'll get one that's a little more nuanced or something. But yeah, one degree difference. It's either hot or cold in here. It's just drives me up the wall. It is. I do have a lot of windows though, right? I mean, that's why I shut the curtains for the show. It just, this room warms up because it's kind of funny. Actually, I've got a thermostat in the other room, and this room is probably, I can even tell you, this room is 78 degrees. My bedroom's probably 73 degrees right now. So, all the checks. No, the dog just comes with me. I take her collar off and I literally carry the dog through the metal detector. I'll be watching the Democratic Committee next. Yeah, I'll be watching the DNC. I mean, I will tell you, I get a little bored watching those things, but I will have the Democratic National Committee on TV, even though I get a little bored. You know, maybe I'll watch the keynotes. Like I want to watch Biden. I'll definitely watch Obama. I'll watch Harris. I'll watch Walz. I'm not convinced I'm going to watch too much of the other. No, we're not going to do a live show because it's on all night. I mean, it's like, 3 hours of programming or something. And it's kind of like, ugh, So I'm not convinced we'll do that. Thank you, Anna. And TikTok gets upset when we do that anyway. I don't want to piss off TikTok too much. My dog is a Yorkie Bichon, so similar to a Yorkie poo. Oh, is Pete speaking? Is Pete Buttigieg speaking? I had not seen that. Oh, that's interesting. Bill Clinton speaking would be pretty cool too. I try to watch the State of the Union. I finally gave up the last couple of years because I get so bored. Traditionally, I would watch the State of the Union, but I just hate watching them. I hate watching them. Yeah, Democratic Socialists. I'm not surprised they're marching outside the DNC. They're basically a bunch of communists. So I told you guys, DSA in America, the American Socialist Party is horrific. They're like the far left, almost communist party here. They're crazy people. A lot of people are socialists. That's different. But the actual party, Democratic Socialists of America, are Looney Tune whack-a-jobs, unfortunately. I don't even know what I think maybe in Europe it would be like old school socialists, like back before they became normal, maybe. They basically, they're kind of like, I was going to say, they're kind of like MAGA in a way. They hate America. They love America's enemies. Like anybody that's an enemy of America, they will protest on behalf of, right? Don't bomb Iran. Don't bomb the Houthis, right? They hate our country. Not unlike MAGA, really, in many ways. MAGA hates our values, loves our enemies. So, So, Colbert. Is Colbert going to be there? That's kind of fun. We did see one of the Colbert guys at one of the conventions. I forget which, but he had one of his comedian guys who would do broadcasts that had kind of like maybe white hair, balding, short, a little fat. I'm forgetting his name. The Democratic Socialists of America hate this country. Yes, they do. They're a bunch of crazy people. Yes. Google them. Fucking Google them. These were the lunatics that were literally bragging. These are the idiots that put out like posters showing the hang gliders and stuff, killing all those kids at that concert in Israel. And they put out like a meme showing the hang glider, like praising the terrorists, like I'm sorry, these are crazy people. DSA has always been crazy people. That is not to suggest socialists. Socialists can be fine. But Democratic Socialists of America, the organization, is absolutely wacky, anti-American, far-left, fringe, crazy people. Google it. If you are a socialist, do not join that group. They're crazy people. So, yes, absolutely, positively. Voting for Jill Stein, exactly. That kind of crap, exactly. Oh, what did I do? Did I wave my hands? What got the balloons? That's funny. Somehow I got balloons over on YouTube. I don't know if I did. Did I do the hands? What does the balloons? We learned this at one point. Did I put to my hand? Crazy people. I did this though. I'm trying to remember what did balloons. Oh, that does confetti. We're going to learn again what does all the stuff on YouTube, all the fun stuff. Corbyn crowd in the UK. That's probably a good comparison. Yeah. You've got normal socialists, but then the leaders are kind of crazy people, like Corbyn in the UK. Bingo. Right. Where you can be on the left and be normal, but unfortunately you picked a crazy man to be your guy. Thank you, Joshua. Appreciate the gift. Momo, Super Hornet, Randy again. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Anna, I got my quota for each show, except that I don't know how. I told you I never know until after the show is over, like how many gifts have actually come in, but appreciate it. Move to YouTube for the balloons. I don't know how I did the balloons though. I don't know how I did it. Double peace sign, but that was confetti. Oh, that was balloons. Oh, you're right. Double peace sign was. Oh no, it did both. Oh, that was interesting. Wait, how did double peace sign do both? Oh, one does balloons. I'll bet you one does balloons. There you go. There. Okay, we figured it out. Thank you, Chazak. Appreciate the gift. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Iggy. Thank you, Bill. We figured out how to do the balloons versus the confetti on YouTube. You hold up just the peace sign and you get balloons. Let's see if it does it again. There we go. We got balloons. And then you hold up both and you get confetti. There we go. It's kind of funky stuff. Thank you, T-Bag. Thank you, Joshua. I'm trying to remember like the OK symbol. Does that do something? I'm forgetting. Surprisingly not. Double OK. Nope. I'm not going to flip the finger because I think that might be a bad idea. It's not doing like, I'm trying to find other things to do on TikTok, on YouTube. YouTube's being difficult. Somebody must have had these. We did the thumbs up already. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Randy. Democrats are part of the left. Yeah. Yeah. But these guys are the fringe left. They're crazy people. We did thumbs up. Show a heart. I'm doing the heart very badly though. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Yeah, the heart did the little heart thing coming out. 2 thumbs down is clouds. Oh, it's rainstorm. That's kind of cool. It turns black and shows rain going down. Thumb and forefinger, what, like this? I did that, though. That didn't do anything. Yep, that didn't do anything. If that's what you mean. It is kind of fun, though. It's kind of fun. Anyway. Oh, like an L. Oh, like an L? Nope. That's kind of creepy doing that. Nope. Nope. All right. There must be more stuff. I guess news is over. Well, we went through all the news. I'm here to answer questions now, but we're doing our chat part of the show. How about that? Nope. That's not on YouTube. We're trying to sort of see what we can get YouTube to trigger. YouTube has little Easter eggs hidden that as you're doing the show, it does funny things to you. But somebody should Google. If you Google, I'm sure like the hidden Easter eggs for YouTube Live will be listed. Somebody must have already compiled them. There's got to be somebody Google and see. Rock on both hands. I don't know what that is. Think Iran got cold feet? I don't know. Iran sure is dragging their feet in terms of attacking Israel. Then again, they kind of know what's coming next. The Israelis are going to blow them out of the water. Thank you, Denise. So, how far will Ukraine go into Russia? At some point, the Russians, I think, are going to get their land back. I mean, the problem for Ukraine to some degree is kind of the dog that catches the car. What is it? The dog that catches the car or whatever it is. They've sort of, I will try that in a second. Okay, guys. They've taken over Russian territory. Now, what do? Do they hold on to it? I mean, it's interesting. Okay, so people said do this. Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay. That's doing like a laser. Now, does one of it work? There's a laser background. Not the one. It's got to be the 2. Okay. Yep. It's doing like a kind of a dark laser show behind me. Devil horns? I don't think devil horns. No, it's the devil horns individually. Right. Right. Interesting. Okay. Well, that was fun. Anything else we should try? Yeah, Iran doesn't want to be destroyed. I feel like Iran is going to still do something, but maybe, the Russians warned them. A lot of their Arab allies warned them. Maybe they're holding back. I don't know. Well, I know that for the Italian, that's the cornuto, But it was showing, it dimmed it and showed like like laser lights behind or whatever. The dog that caught its tail, but it's not just the tail. It's usually the dog that caught the truck or the car that's like chasing a car tail, or a tailpipe of a car or whatever, and catches it. And then they're like, now what does it do? You know? Although you could say tail if you want. Thank you, Interstellar, for the heart gift. What else, guys? What else? I made a very good blueberry bread cake. That was, oh, by the way, anybody who's a baker, I decided I've got a blueberry recipe I've been kind of perfecting, and it needed a little more sugar, a little more salt, which I gave it. It's very good now, but it was still lacking a little something. And I decided to do two things, which you never do when baking. You should always do one adjustment, not two. Thank you, Frank, for subscribing. You should always do one adjustment so you know if it works. But I decided to add a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon extract because I thought, blueberries, blueberry bread or cake, right? It needs a little, which made all the difference in the world. And I added chocolate chips. And I Googled it because I thought chocolate chips might work. But in my mouth, I've got a good sense of taste, like in my head. And I thought, is this going to work? It's delicious. Now, it does overpower the blueberries a little bit. True. But it's absolutely delicious. I'm shocked as to how good it is. So just word to the wise, but maybe don't add a full complement of chocolate chips because it does overpower. Add like 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. But the lemon extract, you don't want to go crazy on that too. But the lemon extract makes I always do semi-sweet chips. Yep. Makes all the difference in the world. Do you think after Russia moves its troops, Ukraine will push somewhere around Crimea? I don't know. I did do fresh blueberries. I'm not opposed to frozen, but I did do fresh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. The problem is I don't know. This is where it gets confusing with what Ukraine's doing in this province of Russia that they invaded. It's not quite sure how it helps Ukraine in the rest of its battles. Not entirely. I mean, the Russians are having to now defend a larger area. They're having to put troops in a larger area to defend the rest of the border. That cuts Russia's that spreads the resources thin. That's good. I think also that the what were we saying? If Ukraine can hang on to the Russian territory, you might want to consider basically trading it for Ukrainian territory if they are able to hold on to it during the peace, right? The peace stuff. Your daughter says lemon juice as opposed to extract. Yeah, I wasn't sure. The only thing is, I know about extracts. You've got to be very careful. I literally added a little bit less than a 1/4 teaspoon because typically if I use almond extract, I'll use 1/8 of a teaspoon. I just wasn't sure how much lemon juice to add. I know with an extract, 1/8 to a 1/4 will give you a bit of an essence. But I was afraid how much lemon juice without actually making the recipe too wet, but also giving it enough flavor. Ask your daughter if you had a typical loaf pan of blueberry bread or whatever, cake, obviously, how much lemon juice would you add to give it just a subtle lemon flavor? I'm trying to remember the other liquids in it, actually. Milk, maybe? I don't remember. Can Ukraine get Crimea back? I don't know. Not anytime soon, because the Russians are pretty well dug in, but who knows? They go after the bridge, they cut the Russian supply lines, and all of a sudden the Russians are having problems. Maybe, that'd be kind of fun, visiting Ukrainian POWs. Oh, no, I wouldn't visit Ukrainian POWs in Russian captivity. You're crazy. I visit the Russian ones, a tablespoon, that much. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I'd consider it. Well, maybe I'll try that next time. I was a little worried because I think the recipe has milk. I was a little worried about curdling the milk or whatever, you know what I mean? But maybe if you add it in as you're blending it, there's not enough time for it to curdle stuff. I don't know that they're going to go after the Kremlin again. I think Ukraine has not been going after Moscow. My guess is we asked them not to, would be my guess, because you haven't really heard of them doing it. And it's not clear what benefit it is. It feels good when Ukraine does it, but, we want them to make attacks that are actually beneficial. Although it is true. It freaks people out in Moscow, which is kind of funny. Lemon rind. Yeah, I've used lemon rind. Actually, I made a very good lemon. That William guy, the William guy, the Canadian who cooks on TikTok, with sort of the ASMR voice, with that girlfriend of his who's kind of the redhead, like, um, and he had a lemonade recipe that was excellent, absolutely excellent. Um, Basically, like slicing half the lemons you slice up and put them in a pot. Half the lemons you squeeze and don't put them in the pot. Just squeeze the juice. But you've got the other 3 lemons sliced up, 3 lemons the juice, and you boil it. And when it gets to boiling, you lower it to simmer for 15 minutes. Then take it off and let it cool. Um, Liter and a half of water, cup of sugar, maybe a pinch. He didn't say salt, but you kind of probably want a pinch of salt. Um, and it really is the best lemonade I've ever had. I was shocked because the rind adds a little bit of bitter. He described it, and he's right. It has a little bit of bitter, but it's not bitter. It's hard to explain what it is. Obviously, you want to wash the lemons well. It's to die for. It's literally 6 normal sized lemons. So 6 good sized lemons, liter and a half of water, cup of sugar. And you slice 3 of the lemons pretty thin. So maybe you get 8 slices or 10 slices per lemon, like pretty thin. Throw them in a pot. Slice the other 3 lemons and squeeze the juice and just put the juice in the pot and get it to boiling. When it gets to boiling, lower to simmer, 15 minutes, and you're done. Absolutely wonderful. Was so surprised. And like I said, I might put a pinch of salt because I think things like that need a touch of salt. Limoncello. I don't like limoncello. I've never liked it, Ash. But you know why? Because it's always sickeningly sweet. And I can't stand, like, I like sugar, but not like that. Limoncello always, I've never had a good limoncello, to be honest. Only because every time I've had it, it's like lemon drops in liquid form. And I'm always like kind of going, blah. But I mean, I'm Greek. We love lemon. So like if I could find a limoncello that somebody put, way less sugar in, then it would be like a strong lemon drink, which could be really good. You know what I mean? Because then you could even put limoncello with a little, tonic or bubbly water or something would be really good. You missed the whole beginning. Start over. Sure, Crimson. We're an hour into this. I know you're kidding. I know. I'm kidding. I know. Is Russia on the brink of economic collapse? Probably not. Lemon drop? Yeah. But yes, I would love to try a limoncello that is at least half the sugar, if not less. Because it's just every time, and again, I love lemon, but we were in Italy, in Sicily, and everybody had to have us drink limoncello. And you did after a dinner because it'd be nice, but you were like, oh God, another fucking lemon drop. It's like, blah. And I love lemon. That's the thing. But this lemonade, what he said with the lemonade too, he said it's very strong and sweet. So he cuts it with liquid. I found it delicious as is. He also strains the lemonade, which I don't do because I liked the pulp. I thought it was nice. Yeah, of course. If you've got diabetes, then don't use sugar. Just use, I don't know whether you can boil artificial sugar. If not, then boil it first and then add artificial sugar to taste, Cooking with John TikToks on Sundays? I don't know. The thing is, William, are you asking me, Amanda? William, what's his name? I always tell people, go to the list of who I follow on TikTok. I only follow about 240 people, and you will see William, maybe Conrad, maybe. Young guy, excellent. And he's really interesting too, because he often plates dishes. And it's really amazing how he's very good. But go to my follower list, who I follow on TikTok, and you'll find him. Recently he's been doing more recipes. Who I follow is private. Oh, I didn't know that. Really? Oops. Well, actually, I can probably hold on. Hostage videos. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. TikTok. I'm going to pull this up. Oh, TikTok, what you doing? Don't end. Oh, there we go. TikTok was making me prove I was a person, but I think it figured out I was a person. I will pull this up on TikTok myself. 1 second here. View profile. All right. 236. Now, all right. On my phone, I can actually search by name, but that's okay. I know it's William. I will find it for you. because that's the kind of guy I do like to share sometimes the people I follow. There's some good people. He's just very even when he's just making he makes food sometimes in advance and then plates it, but even watching him plate the food is kind of amazing. Um, hang on here. Deep, 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 deep. I don't wanna miss it by, like, scrolling and then, and then you miss it. He may have also been one of the earlier ones I followed. I may have to go through and lighten up my list again. Rosie O'Donnell, Mateo Lane, I do enjoy him. Um, William there Vlad, we love Vlad. Uh, William, I am going to find William. God, is he maybe he was one of the earlier ones I found. I think this list does go backwards in time, which is funny, Mark Hamill, although Mark doesn't really. Oh, come on, now I can't find it. Ah, I may have to do it on my phone or my computer because on my phone, I literally can search by name, and I know his name is William, and I can just look for William. But the girlfriend, you guys know, some of you have seen this. His girlfriend's kind of the redhead who's, like very buxomy. Um, and he makes her meals. He's Canadian. William, I want to say Conrad. It's some. I'm going to find this. I'm going through one more time here. One more time. David Packman, always very good. Another good person to follow. Actually, my friend Adam Parkamenko is very good too. Another good follow. Um, Michael Gallion, we love him. He does sort of relaxation videos that are really kind of amazing. Has a new book coming out. Very good. I mean, he's got a gift. These like 1 and 3 minute relaxation videos that just calm you. Michael Gallion, Galyon. It's crazy. I mean, like literally 1 minute of his video, you do the breathing, you close your eyes, and you literally feel like, it's kind of wild. I'm still gonna find you, William, here, and then I'm gonna give up and find it later. Come on. Ian Reardon, he's fun. He's the guy I was telling you doing the, William, here he is, William Conrad, I knew it. It's William Conrad _. So William Conrad with a C. So one long word, William Conrad _, just to make it a little complicated. There we go. He's very good. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Amanda found him. Okay. I just like his stuff. He's also has kind of an ASMR voice. He is, he's Canadian. He's the opposite of me. He's just calm. And the way he explains things is so calm and gentle. And a lot of his videos are simply plating. He's made the food earlier and he plates it for you. And he says, "Oh, I've made you lunch today. Here's what we're having." And you're just kind of like, ah, because it's just so calming. I don't know why. Very calming. I don't really know Brian Tyler Cohen. He seems a bit flashy to me. I find him flashy. I don't want to knock the guy. Maybe he's got substance. I find him flashy. I don't like flash. So who knows? Who knows? But he might be good. He's popular. You did miss the Ukraine show. Well, we did Ukraine and US politics. Now we're hanging out. Is he good? Okay, good. Now we're doing the hanging out portion. So we're talking food and everything else. I know we're from Chicago. We're ethnic. We don't do calm very well. I'd like to do calm. Calm is good. But alas, I do not do calm. I'm going to have some of my blueberry chocolate chip bread later. Thank you, Jay, for subscribing. So that'll be fun. Dimitri Symes? No way. Are you sure about that, Mike? No way. Let me pull this up. No way. Hold on. No, there's no news. What are you talking about? Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from, Mike? Or is that old news? I'm not sure where you got that from. I'm not seeing any news about that. Anyway, cooking with Shireen. Oh, I know. Is she not the Greek? She's not the Greek woman, is she? 200 miles from south to Chicago? 200 miles south. Where the hell is that? Southern Illinois or what? Dewey? Is Shireen the Chicago? I mean the Greek woman, or is she I've seen her. I like her stuff. Oh, Peoria. Okay. I mean, I went to Champaign, but I haven't been down there in so long. Never been to Peoria ever. Not that I'm opposed to it, just never get there because I was from the suburbs, so Chicago area. So, but yes, cooking with Shireen, I used to see a lot. I liked it. Oh, okay. I never remember what the mile distance was. B. Dylan Hollis, he cooks a lot of old recipes. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, but he's not the who I don't like. There's some crazy high energy guy who I've never enjoyed. I forgot what it is. Oh, hey, Philomena. Somebody who was super high energy, but he annoyed me. But like crazy, like makes me look calm. Crazy over the top high energy. And I literally found it annoying. And also there were a lot of cuts in his videos. That's got to be him because it annoyed the hell out of me. Thank you, Norway Fox. Maybe if you're a slower person, it's fun. But I watched it. I was like, the thing is, I don't like people who are slow. I was watching some video. I was trying to, I'm having some issues with my new TV, which I'm not very happy about. Actually, I'll ask you guys, we'll crowdsource this. My new TCL TV, when I adjust the volume, the screen goes black for a second or two, and then the volume adjusts, and it's driving me insane. But it's pissing me off because it's a new TV, and I don't have time before my trip. I'm going to have to call them tomorrow and ask. But I was looking at videos for help, and there was a help video of a guy making suggestions for your TV. And he's like, the first suggestion, check the HDMI cable. Oh my God. I was literally like going to explode. I was so annoyed. It's like, okay, could you speed this up 3 times faster? Would it kill you? And again, some people speak like that. I don't know how the hell people speak like that. I don't know if their mind goes so slowly or what it is. How could you possibly speak like this? I mean, like, I don't get it. I maybe you're just such a Zen person, Oh my God. I just wanted to put him on speed. I do that to you, Dutch Cossack, by the way. Dutch Cossack likes to send me audio messages. I speed him up to 1.5 times and it's perfect. I did think you were drunk though. Accidentally, I hit the 0.5 on it once and he's like, hello, John, I'm in Ukraine. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's driving drunk. Like, is he high? And then I realized, oh, I have the speed button pushed. That was a little scary. Thank you, Norway. Appreciate that. Anyway, can you speed up YouTube's? I didn't even know that. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm just a little, again, it's been almost a month, but I'm leaving Saturday, so it's not like I have time to return it, but I'm getting a little annoyed. It's doing a couple other little issues too, my TCL, where it's having a hard time communicating with my Google and Alexa. And like, I tell it it keeps forgetting the connection with my Google, and I'm getting a little pissed off. But especially the fact, like I said, I changed the volume and literally the screen goes black for 3 seconds. And then, I'm like, okay, every time I change the volume, the screen's going to go black. Like, are you kidding me? So I'm getting a little annoyed. Like I said, I may have to call them tomorrow, but I'm like within my 30-day window to return it. But keeps just disconnecting from the Wi-Fi. It's doing something, but I'm getting a little annoyed. Yes. Is Chicago worth visiting? Very much so. Chicago's a great city. Yes. Yes. Yes, the thermostat is doing okay at the moment. I don't need to change it. I typically get Samsungs, but it was on super sale for $300. It's a 55-inch TV. It's a pretty good TV. I'm still having issues with the color, but sometimes that's adjustment. You know what I mean? But this latest thing where changing the volume blacks it out is driving me insane. And I'm not going to have I do not have time. I don't have time with my trip coming up, but I'm not going to have a choice. Tomorrow I'm going to have to call these idiots and get on the phone for half an hour with unplug this, unplug that. It's going to be like, oh my God. Because one of the suggestions is like to unplug it for half an hour. I'm like, great. So we'll see. I'm a little annoyed though. No, it's a good brand. Supposedly people love the brand. But as I said, it's also not communicating well with my Google. So like I tell Google to turn it on and sometimes it turns it on, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm like, why? I'll take it back. I got it on Amazon. I can return it, but it means packaging it up and returning it tomorrow, which I can. I'm just not thrilled about doing it. but it is kind of it's starting to piss me off. Yeah. It's starting to piss me off. Well, my concern is, of course, unplug it for my Chicago. Well, Damien's coming, so I can't really unplug it. But once I'm back, I'm outside of Amazon's return, and then I'm dealing with TCL's return. It's a TCL Amazon Fire TV. I mean, these were the people who the remote arrived broken. And the woman on the phone actually told me, oh, we don't cover the remote. And I said, you don't understand. The remote literally arrived broken. You don't get to tell me that it didn't cover it. Now, one thing it did do, which was interesting today, because I was changing the volume, it didn't just go black. It went black and told me that it lost like the connection. It said it showed no signal detected. It said at one point. So that's what it's doing. I'm changing the volume and somehow it's cutting the signal. And I have no idea how or why. No idea why. But it's pissing me off, like I said, because, it's return QR code saved. I mean, I've got the box saved. Yeah, but it's going to mean returning it tomorrow. I mean, I could, I guess. I've got to see, actually. I've got to check I'm going to check Amazon. See what the return is. Because it's kind of pissing me off, to be honest. I like having, the thing is, I like having an Amazon Fire TV. Can I get an Amazon Fire TV with a different brand? Because I am enjoying it being Amazon. Maybe the other smart TVs are just as good. But I've been really enjoying the smartness of it very much, to be honest. I've got to see. Maybe I'm already without the. I may have already. Oh no, July 18. Yep, eligible through August 17, so I can return it through Saturday. Oh man. I'm just kind of annoyed with it, to be honest, and I'm just not sure. Free returns, easy with at least one free return, no shipping charges. Oh wow! You know what? I hate to return it, but I may return this thing. Yeah, but Fire Sticks are slower. I mean, what I've been liking is how quick it is. Like literally, I switch back and forth, and it's like boom. I switch to Amazon Video. I switch to whatever. It's so freaking fast, Can order a new one later, then return the old one. Oh, well, no, I thought I have to return the new one but the new one has to be returned by Saturday, I think. I need to call them. I think I'm returning this. I'm going to piss off Damien. I don't want to not have the TV in my living room. I moved the TV. Well, I could move it back. I moved the TV into my bedroom. I could always move the TV back. I mean, because I've got my old TV anyway. I'm thinking I'm going to return it. There was a Samsung for like $500, and I should have gotten the Samsung, I think, because also the new TVs all have Amazon Video and stuff anyway. You know what I mean? But I'm not loving it. I'm finding the color very difficult. I've adjusted what I can, and I'm not convinced the color is adjusting very well. And like I said, the glitchiness of this volume thing is driving me nuts. Google keeps getting confused. I'm just getting a little pissed off about this at this point. 7 days. I mean, I'm leaving Saturday, so I have to mail it. Yeah, I'm going to probably return it tomorrow then. God, it's annoying. My phone's Apple. I love Samsung. I mean, again, it was $285 for a 55-inch TV. It was wonderful. And my TV is, I remember I've told you guys with technology, my TV is 9.5 years old. I am very good about hanging on to my my televisions and stuff, right? So, I mean, my technology, I tend not to swap out my technology until it's necessary. So I've had my TV for 9.5 years, but it's got two little bulbs already burned out that are always on in the corner of the TV, but it's 9.5 years. Print a return label, they'll pick it up. Really? Oh, okay. Maybe if I can do that, I can print return label easily. Oh, okay. The QR code doesn't expire. Yeah, but you've got to return it within a certain period of time. I may call Amazon and ask them. I think you're right. I'm going to return it just because it has been too much hardship at this point. I'm tired of it at this point. And I'm not loving the color. I have fiddled with the color for a month, and I'm not loving the color of it. It's pissing me off. But this little glitch now with this sound thing, and I'm getting awfully pissed off with Google. Sometimes communicates with the TV, sometimes it doesn't. And like, I'm a big fan of turning my TV on and off by voice. I've got a whole setup in the apartment where I say like, "Hey Google, good afternoon," and it turns on all the lights behind me at a certain percentage and the TV. So it's what I use when I'm home working. I love it. And of course now the TV doesn't work, and I'm like, oh my God. All right, you all, you've convinced me to return it. If they can pick it up, that's kind of great. When you save the code to your phone, it bypasses the cutoff date. I don't know what that means, Crystal. Save what code to my phone? I just don't know what that means. Samsung TVs are great, though. Samsung TVs are great. No, I think I'm going to get rid of it. And maybe I'll put my old TV back there. Well, I'm going to have to anyway. The return QR code. Well, I always save it to my phone anyway. What do you mean? It bypasses the cutoff date. They've got to get the TV at a certain period of time or they don't accept it. Sorry, I'm not understanding here. Right, the return. Sorry, I'm just not seeing enough verbs here to know what you're talking about. I know what the QR code is. I don't understand what you're telling me to do with it. Typically, I would drop it off at the store and use the QR code. But yeah, I keep things until they fail. But it was Prime Day. I thought I'll get a new TV. They're cheap, you know. But just, you know, the purchase to start the return. You know, I may just call Amazon and ask them because I find they're very good when you talk to them. You know, well, they're not going to let me keep a TV, but yeah, I'm going to call them because it's pissing me off at this point. I haven't had a new TV in 10 years. I got my last TV in early 2015 when I moved to New York. I bought a new TV. So the TV I've got has been 9.5 years, but it's just, this one has been glitchy and I'm not liking the color. My color is still gorgeous. Prime Day is cheap if you pay attention. Slappy. I'm going to share a secret with all of you, and then we're going to end the show. When you are buying anything big on Amazon, you will first go to a site called Camel, Camel, Camel. Literally 3 words in a row. Camel, Camel, Camel. That site will show you all the Amazon prices of your product going back forever. So if the product has been out for 5 years, you will see the price every month for the last 5 years. And you will be able to see, am I getting a good deal or a bad deal for the sale on Amazon? Even better, you will tell it. If there's a price drop, email me. When I was moving to New York, they had the TV I wanted, $900. Back then, this is 10 years ago, right? TVs were a little more expensive. 55-inch Samsung for $900. I was like, that's too expensive. I put in the price watch. A week and a half later, I forgot I had the price watch in. I got an email saying the price dropped to $750 and I bought it. So I saved $150. But the best thing is whenever you're looking at stuff and you're wondering, you know, because Amazon's prices change, is this a good price? You go to Camel, 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 you copy the URL, you paste it in Camel, 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 and it brings up the product and shows you what the price has been historically. So you know, oh, this is pretty low right now. Or bullshit, they're asking for $50. It's usually $35. So it's kind of a nice thing. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go, and I may even call Amazon right now because I'm getting kind of annoyed. I will talk to you guys. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. And then I travel on Saturday, okay? So thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for the gifts. And I will see you all tomorrow night. I do not think I'm doing the show for paid subscribers tomorrow because I am literally losing my mind preparing for, I almost didn't do the show tonight. I'm kind of losing my mind preparing for this trip. So thank you, Al. Thank you, Super Hornet. So I will be doing the show tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern. I just probably won't be doing the paid show tomorrow. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you Saturday. No, not Saturday morning. I'll see you next Monday at least. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. But certainly Monday. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the advice on the TV. I will return it now. All right.